The internet is changing again. It happens once a generation. A silent structural shift begins deep within the digital world, starting first with code, then spreading to culture, and finally reshaping our economies. We saw it when the static pages of the early web gave way to the dynamic, user-generated platforms of social media. We felt it when the desktop experience was eclipsed by the mobile supercomputer in our pockets, connecting billions of people in an instant. That feeling is back. A new architecture is rising, built on principles that feel both radically futuristic and fundamentally human. This is not just another trend, another app, another cycle of hype. It is the beginning of a new chapter for what it means to connect, create, and transact online. This time, the revolution is centered on a single powerful idea that has been largely absent from our digital lives: ownership. For 2 decades, we have been digital tenants, building our businesses, our communities, and our identities on platforms we do not control. We create the content, we generate the data, we build the networks, but we don't own the underlying systems. The rules can be changed without our consent, access can be revoked overnight, and the value we create is captured by a small handful of centralized gatekeepers. The next era of the internet is designed to fix this. It's a movement to upgrade the web from a system of rented spaces to a universe of ownable assets, where power is pushed to the edges and users become stakeholders. Imagine a world where your digital identity is yours to keep, portable across any application. An economy where creators can sell their work directly. Envision communities that are not just groups of users, but collective owners. This isn't science fiction. This is the core promise of Web3. It's a vision for an internet where code becomes law, ownership becomes programmable, and value moves with the speed and openness of information itself. A more equitable, transparent, and empowering digital world is not just possible. It is being actively built right now. This masterclass is your guide to that new world. It is designed for the ambitious, the curious, and the determined. It is for the creators, entrepreneurs, developers, artists, and investors who see the tectonic plates of the digital world shifting and want to understand where they are headed. Over the next few minutes, we will not just talk about technology. We will explore a new philosophy for building online. We will demystify the core concepts, from blockchains, smart contracts, wallets, and tokens. We will give you a clear strategic framework for how to design, build, and win in this emerging landscape. This is your invitation to stop being a spectator and start becoming an architect of what comes next. To understand where we are going, we must first understand where we have been. The internet has unfolded in distinct eras, each defined by the capabilities it gave its users. The first era, Web 1, was the Internet of Red. Spanning roughly from the late 1980s to the early 2000s, this was a static, decentralized network of information. It was built on open protocols like HTTP, SMTP, FTP. Anyone could set up a server and publish a website. It was the age of the digital library, a vast hyperlinked collection of documents. You could read information, browse pages, consume content, but most people were passive. The web was a one-way street. Then came Web 2, the internet of read and write. Beginning in the mid-2000s, new companies built interactive platforms on top of the original rails. This was the birth of social media, the creator economy, and the mobile web. Suddenly, anyone could be a publisher. You could write blog posts, upload videos, share photos, and connect with millions from a device in your hand. We went from passive consumers to active participants. But the right era had a cost. For free services, we gave up control. The platforms were closed, centralized systems. They owned our data, controlled distribution, and dictated the rules. We were writing on their digital property. Now, Web 3, the era of read, write, and own. It blends Web 1's open, decentralized ethos with Web 2's rich interactivity and adds a native layer for ownership: blockchains. In Web 3, your digital assets, identity, money, art, data, community membership are finally yours. Recorded on open, shared ledgers that no single company controls, held in a digital wallet that only you can access. This shift changes everything. For the first time, we can build apps and services where users are owners, a foundation for new creator tools, financial services, and online communities that are transparent, equitable, and resilient. The move from right to own isn't just incremental, it's a fundamental re-architecting of the internet's power dynamics. In every major technological shift, there is a window of opportunity. It is a unique period where the infrastructure is still being built, the rules are still being written, and the landscape is still open for pioneers to make their mark. During this time, people who take the time to deeply understand the new paradigm gain an almost unfair advantage. They see the future not as a blurry abstraction, but as a clear set of building blocks. Many see Web 3 as only complexity, volatility, hype. They get lost in market noise and dismiss the movement. But the builders, the people who look past the surface, see something different. They see the steady, persistent progress of the underlying technology. They see the developer tools getting better every month. They see the user experience becoming simpler and more intuitive. They know it's not the daily price of a token, but the accelerating development of the core infrastructure for a new digital economy. This masterclass is designed to give you that builder's perspective. It cuts through the noise and gives clarity to the real opportunity. By the end of this journey, you will understand Web 3 from its first principles. You will see why it's a monumental shift for creators, entrepreneurs, users. You'll learn practical steps to design your first projects, build them, and gain a strategic roadmap to track evolution without getting lost. This isn't about getting rich quick. It's about getting smart for the long term. The coming internet era favors those who combine code, community, capital. It rewards those who design products around programmable ownership, decentralized trust. The future belongs to the builders, and building starts with understanding. This knowledge is the key to your unfair advantage. The time to learn is now. The time to build is now. Let's begin. At the very heart of Web 3 lies a revolutionary technology called the blockchain. But let's strip away the jargon. Imagine a shared digital ledger, like a global spreadsheet or a universal notebook, collectively maintained by thousands of computers around the world. This ledger isn't owned or controlled by any single company, government, or individual. Instead, every participant holds a copy, and they work together to verify and add new information. This creates a single shared source of truth that is secure and transparent. To change it, you'd have to hack thousands of computers at once, practically impossible. If the blockchain is the foundation, then smart contracts are the applications that run on top of it. A smart contract is not a legal document. It's simply a piece of code. But this code is special. Think of it like a digital vending machine. You insert a specific amount of money. The machine dispenses your chosen snack. An asset. An action. For example, release funds to a freelancer automatically, manage a community treasury, handle musician royalties, automatically send a percentage of every secondary sale, back to the artist's wallet forever. Smart contracts are the logic layer of Web 3. They turn the blockchain from a simple database of transactions into a global, programmable computer. But how do you, as a user, actually interact with this new world? The answer is through a digital wallet. Unlike a Web 2 account, your wallet is self-custodied. You, and only you, control the private keys that give you access to it. This wallet becomes your portable identity. When you connect your wallet, you are not creating a new username and password. Instead, you are using your wallet to sign a message, cryptographically proving that you are the owner of that account. This single sovereign identity can hold all of your digital assets. These assets come in the form of tokens. Tokens generally fall into two main categories. The first is fungible tokens. The second category is non-fungible tokens, or NFTs. Now let's put all the pieces together. It begins with you, the user, and your digital wallet. You decide to publish a post. The transaction is sent to a smart contract. The contract records the transaction on the blockchain and might transfer an NFT to your wallet. Provable ownership. It's a closed loop of trust operating in the open. The user is in control via their wallet. The application provides the interface. The smart contract enforces the rules. The blockchain is the ultimate source of truth and security. For the past 2 decades, we have been digital tenants. We have built our lives on rented land. The platforms we used were landlords. We were subject to their rules. They could change the terms, raise the rent, or even evict us entirely without warning. Web3 matters because it fundamentally challenges this paradigm. It offers us a path from being digital tenants to becoming digital owners. This is not just a technical upgrade. It is a profound philosophical shift. Ownership creates a sense of permanence, responsibility, investment. Web3 represents the single greatest unlock for creators since the dawn of the internet. Using a smart contract, they can program a royalty into the NFT itself, ensuring they automatically receive a percentage of every future resale forever. A writer can serialize their novel. A filmmaker can fund their next project. A podcaster can offer token-gated bonus episodes. The power shifts from the platform to the creator-fan relationship. This is why Web3 is so emotionally compelling for anyone who creates for a living. It's a promise of economic sovereignty. Web3 changes this by enabling the creation of communities with aligned incentives, communities with skin in the game. Think of a decentralized autonomous organization, or a DAO. Members can propose ideas. Everyone with a token can vote. The outcome is then automatically executed by the smart contract. This creates a powerful flywheel. Aligned incentives lead to more contribution, which leads to a stronger community, which in turn makes ownership in that community more valuable. At its deepest level, Web3 matters because it lays the foundation for a truly global, open, and permissionless economy. The payment can be made directly from one wallet to another, in a matter of seconds, for a fraction of the cost. Decentralized finance, or DeFi, rebuilds the entire financial system. Anyone can access these services without needing to go through a traditional financial institution. A massive, multi-trillion-dollar opportunity lies in the tokenization of real-world assets, unlocking liquidity and opening up investment opportunities to a much broader audience. Web3 matters because it is not just building a new internet. It is building the infrastructure for a more integrated and equitable global economy. Every great structure begins with a solid foundation. In the world of Web3, this foundation is the blockchain itself, often referred to as Layer 1. When you hear names like Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, they are the sovereign ground where digital ownership is immutably registered. The dominant ecosystem in this layer revolves around the Ethereum Virtual Machine, or EVM. Its widespread adoption has led to a massive network effect, with countless other Layer 1 chains becoming EVM compatible. However, as demand for block space has grown, this has led to the rise of a critical new category, Layer 2 scaling solutions. This gives developers the best of both worlds. The high speed and low cost of a Layer 2, with the underlying security and finality of the main Ethereum chain. If Layer 1 is the foundation, then the next level of our stack is where the action happens. This is the logic and execution layer, dominated by smart contracts. This is where a builder encodes the core mechanics of their product. Writing smart contracts requires specialized languages. Solidity is the most popular, but builders must be judicious about what goes on-chain. Best practice: keep only what truly matters on-chain. The art of Web3 architecture is balancing on-chain security with off-chain efficiency. The most robust foundation and brilliant logic are meaningless if no one can access them. This brings us to the third layer of the stack, the user gateway and experience layer. The wallet is the user's personal key, account, and signing device. Modern wallets are evolving, offering social recovery and batching multiple actions into one transaction. The other half is the front-end application. Instead of talking to a private company database, the front end talks to the blockchain. This is how a click on a buy button becomes a verifiable on-chain action. The final layer of our stack is the fabric that holds everything together. This is the data and community layer. To build rich applications, developers need a way to quickly access on-chain data. This layer also includes decentralized storage solutions, ensuring the asset's media isn't hosted on a private server. Beyond the technical components, this layer is the community and its governance. These tools let token holders propose and vote on a protocol's future, creating a tight feedback loop between builders and user owners. Building a successful Web3 product is about weaving together technology and community. The most common mistake new builders make in Web3 is starting with the technology, not the human problem. They get mesmerized by the allure of tokens and immediately jump to the question, what can I build with a token? This is the wrong starting point. The first and most important rule is to return to the fundamentals of product thinking. Start by asking, who is my user? What problem do they have? Only after you have a crystal clear answer can you explore if and how Web3 offers a uniquely powerful solution. Find points of leverage where Web3 makes the experience 10 times better. The journey to becoming a Web3 builder can seem daunting, but it can be broken down into a clear step-by-step roadmap. The first step is not to code, but to experience. Before you can build, you must become a power user. This hands-on experience is invaluable. Start with the basics of smart contract development. With some basic Solidity knowledge, it's time to get your hands dirty with modern development frameworks. This iterative cycle of coding and testing is the heart of professional blockchain development. Finally, after extensive testing, you are ready for deployment. This is the moment your creation goes live on the real blockchain, becoming a permanent and immutable part of the new internet. The beauty of Web3 is that even as a new builder, you can create genuinely useful and compelling products. A fantastic first project is creating an NFT-based membership pass. Another entry-level project is a creator access pass. Finally, consider a tokenized digital product storefront. Each project is achievable for a new builder and teaches core Web3 patterns, empowering you to build the future. While the frontier is filled with immense opportunity, it is also littered with traps for the unwary. The first and most cardinal sin is starting with the token before the product. The second pitfall is the temptation to overcomplicate your first build. A third, and potentially catastrophic mistake is ignoring security. Don't build solely for speculation. And don't forget the user experience. The most successful builders are not the loudest or the fastest. They are the most disciplined, strategic, and user-obsessed. The strategic builder knows the signal is not in daily price charts. The real signal is in the slow, steady, persistent progress of the underlying infrastructure. Your first discipline, follow the source, go to official documentation. Your second discipline, monitor sustained usage, not temporary hype. Study design patterns, study token models, don't copy, deconstruct to learn why they work. Finally, the strategic builder is a consistent learner and shipper. That creates a feedback loop. Learning informs building. Building solidifies learning. This is the path. We have traveled far on this journey. Now we arrive at the end, which is truly the beginning. The world of Web3 is still in its formative stages. The concrete is still wet. The foundational rails of this new economy and new internet are being laid right now. This is not a mature, saturated market. This is the moment before the mainstream rush. For those with the ambition to learn and the courage to build, this is the single greatest window of opportunity in a generation. So, what is the final call to action? It is not to speculate or to chase hype. It is to learn and then to build. Absorb the knowledge we have shared. Then, with this clarity, take the most important step of all: build one real thing. This act of building, of turning theory into practice, will teach you more than 1,000 hours of reading ever could. It develops skill, it forges clarity, and it gives you leverage. The next internet will not be built by spectators. It will be built by those who get their hands dirty, who write the code, design the experiences, and foster the communities. It will be built by those who understand that ownership, code, and community are the new atoms of the digital world. You now have the map. You have the framework. The rest is a matter of execution. Go learn the rails. Go build the future. Become a part of the next internet instead of just watching it happen from the sidelines. Because in Web3, the future belongs, and will always belong, to the builder.